and I'm sitting here with the Director of Fundamentals of Sports, Mr. Willie Crittendon. How you doing?
That's fine. Thank you, Mr. Clifford, for coming by.
All right, so tell me a little bit about the fundamentals of sports, a little bit about you,
Okay.
and start wherever you want.
My name is Willie Crittendon, as Mr. Clifford says. I'm the director. I guess the best way to get started at this is that I have been very blessed through sports to be able to go a lot of places and do a lot of things that normally I wouldn't have been able to do.
Okay.
Sports has opened up a lot of doors for me, and I feel like I'm having the opportunity to give back. That's the whole purpose. I used to be the head football coach at Berkeley High School, and one of the things I've found now that kids like sports, but they didn't understand the theory about being a student athlete. They wanted to play sports, but they didn't realize that the most important things was academics. And we had a problem with me being from the old school because I knew at any time, as you, Mr. Clifford, know, each play can be the last play you ever play.
That's correct.
So I wanted to instill in some young people that it's a good way to get a good education and still enjoy the things that you enjoy, but it must be put in the right perspective.
I see.
After some health problems, I left Berkeley and got with a great bunch of people, and we started the program called Fundamentals of Sports. And over the years, the last 15 years, we've been blessed to put over 100 kids in the college by using their academics and athletics as a way for them to enter and complete their college education.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So where do you see it going in the future?
I'm hoping that by we becoming a little bit more known now, and we're blessed to have people like yourself to come in and help us publicize it more, that it will be taken to the next level where we can get some funding to get in a structure to run a very, very organized after-school program. And we try to make sure we get our kids very young. We try to get them at 7 or 8 years old. So we can instill in them that in order for them to participate in our program, the biggest portion of the qualification is academics. If their academics continue to improve, we help them improve with their athletics. And this is why those two working together has been very fruitful about getting a scholarship.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's what we do, Mr.
That's a beautiful thing. Tell me a little bit about your academic background.
I'm from Alabama originally.
And your athletic background as well.
I'm from Alabama originally, class of 1964.
Okay.
Upon there, I went to came out to California to go to Taft Junior College, as you know, down by Bakersfield. Did very well there. From there, I went to Tulsa University in Oklahoma. And from Oklahoma, I was blessed to get a chance to play in the pros for a while.
Oh, okay.
I was down in New Orleans, and I was also in San Diego, and did a small couple of years in the Flunk World Football League.
Oh, okay.
So I was real blessed that way. And once again, it just instilled upon me that it's very, very necessary to prepare for when you can't play anymore.
That's very important. Just speaking of the World Football League, was the Michigan Panthers?
Michigan Panthers back in the day, yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's beautiful. I was intrigued because, you know, I'm like, who's this wonderful guy? Given myself, and of course, you know, I'm coaching elementary girls basketball now. Who is this gentleman that's nice enough to give us tickets? You know, and I was really intrigued, you know, to find out who this person was. And I'm really glad that I met you.
Same here.
And I hope that everything, and I'm going to do whatever I can to assist you as far as visually and promotions to help your program
Thank you.
Succeed.
Okay. Mr. Clifford, what's very, very important is that there are a lot of children who don't have the image or the role model that's necessary. When we say the word coach, people like yourself and a lot of your colleagues understand that coach is the father, the man, the disciplinarian in a lot of these kids' life. And I'm very fortunate to have contacts with several of the colleges and the professional people in this area, so we can use the tickets as a reward for improvement. If they go to class, if their grades improve, if their attitude is constantly being more productive. People like yourself, Mr. Clifford, get in contact with me and let me know of the young people who should be rewarded this way.
Okay.
So we take them to the games under your supervision to let them see there is a world outside of the world you normally deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But what people like you help me to get them to understand is, in order to be successful, sacrifices have to be made.
Mm-hmm.
So if they go to class, if they continue to do well, we reward them by these events. But we do not want them to think that the event and the reward is totally based on athletics and how good they are. They're mostly grounded in the fact of how much improvement they're making. And people like you make this possible.
Well, thank you. That's very important. In fact, just listening to you talk, I grew up in Flint, Michigan, and at the time, my mother was a single mother with 5 boys.
Sure.
5 knucklehead boys.
Sure.
And she had to find something to do. So no one would take all of us. They would take 1 or 2. It was too many of us. So this gentleman, he was involved in Big Brother. And he said, I'll take them all.
Sure.
So the very first game I ever went to was an Ohio State-Michigan game.
All right.
And we road trip to Columbus.
Okay.
And I remember stopping, and we did some mischievous stuff.
Sure.
He had the maze in blue paint. It was watercolor. And don't tell your mom or anyone we did this. So when we crossed, well, it was in the Buckeye State, we crossed it out in gold blue. So the next thing I know, we're at the football game.
Right.
And I'm just like, wow, look at all these people. I want to play. And I was just, my whole thing was, you know, growing up in Michigan, either you're going to work in the factory, and that was pretty much it.
True.
There was no home economics, no arts, no nothing. They gear everyone to work in the factory. And I remember asking the gentleman, how can I get on the field and how can I play? And I believe Archie Davis and those guys are playing. And he said, you got to go to school and keep the grades up.
That's key. And you know, it's amazing how, regardless of the geographics or regardless of the race agenda of the person who instilled this in you and I, they were people who were concerned with the fact, let me show you down the road. Let me show you what you can have. That where you are is not the start of the ending of the world, but it's just a place that we will go far from here. The gentleman who took you to the ball game is now you, Clifford. The kids that you're taking to the ball game will one day take some kids. We are part of a wheel. We are part of the believers in the Almighty, that it is our responsibility to keep it going.
That's beautiful, and that's so true. That's so true. I have, with the girls that I'm coaching, some of the girls are difficult to deal with.
Sure they are.
Children.
Sure they are.
And they're like, great, he's going to do it. Here, go. And, you know, when I ask Coach Antoine, who's the other coach, they're like, well, yeah, she's this and she's that, and her grandmother's taking care of her, you know, but the bully on the schoolyard. But from what I understand, there's several of them that asked him, is Coach Cliff coming today? Are we practicing? And they're waiting for him.
They're waiting for you.
When I come Thursday, they'll be waiting for me.
Yes, they will.
There are teachers who never said anything to me before, not because they're negative. They had no reason. You know, I picked my daughter up. But they come up and go, hi, Coach.
There you go.
Heard a lot about you.
There you go.
And what I did was empowered them. Okay, lead the exercise. So they come, I want to lead. You know, I explained to them, you can't be a leader and a bully.
You can't.
And I used the Obamas or whatever leaders that they know. Do you see him running around bullying people?
No, you don't.
You know, so they sort of get it. So that's a beautiful thing. And I thank you for taking time out. And if there's anything you want to say, go ahead and say it.
I would like to do this then. I would like to first of all thank you. But there are some people, if it's okay with Mr. Clifford, I would like to give special thanks to some people who have made this possible over all these years for us to continue. At the top of the list and at that section, I think that Mr. Bo and Nancy Kinlock, Mr. Dave and Muriel Kears, Mr. Sunsel and Veronica Bunsky, Mr. Wayne and Kay Lyons, Neil Dickman, Richard Guspert, and a lot of other good people, and especially Mr. Richard Brophy and Patrice Yo. These are people who have not only added their financial support, but their participation. They would take a young person who desires to be in the area that they would like to one day work in to show them what the requirements are going to be in that area. And people like yourself, Mr. Clifford, you're not alone. It's just to the point of us constantly trying to get more of us together. I want to thank you for coming by and thank you for volunteering your work. And I'm going to let all of those in our program know about you and what you're doing. So we teach one thing to our young people. The people you ask for help, offer your help to them without them asking. Thank you very much, Mr. Clifford.